Yo, what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It is your hostess with the mostest. It is PKR, Pastor Keenan Riley. And as always, I'm joined by my sidekick, Nicky Nick, on an
Abbreviated.
abbreviated, my friend, session of People Suck, Love Them Anyways, which I think it's going to be a shorter episode because we've spent tonight just talking, just chitter chatting, and so we're gonna have just a condensed episode tonight where we kind of throw out some stuff.
Bite-sized people suck them
There you
anyway.
go, man, and maybe it's just a little nugget, maybe it's
Yeah.
just a little taste, a little
Little
morsel,
Christian nuggie.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian
Like
nuggie.
in Chick-fil-A nuggies,
Yeah.
man. Maybe it's like that where you just kind of get a little dip in. You're like, man, I tell you what, I like it. I'm gonna go to the next one and see what happens. Maybe that's what it
Absolutely.
is.
Maybe this little taste of people suck love them anyway will get you to listen to all 180 something other episodes that we
True,
had.
true. And on the flip side, let's start it off with this praise report, man. The weather isn't as bad in Kentucky now as what
You
it
can
was.
see pavement.
We can see,
Grass.
and bro, it like so. I know. Don't get me wrong. Threat of tornadoes tomorrow,
True.
like coming right off the back of an ice storm. Kentucky weather hashtag. But yeah, man, it's gonna be like 75 tomorrow here in Kentucky. That is insanity, man.
I love it.
I know, I do too. Like I'm so ready for it. I'm so
It
ready.
sucks. I'll be kind of stuck inside most of the day.
Yeah, well,
But,
that's true too, man.
I mean, most people want to be if it's going to storm like
yeah,
that.
yeah. I can get up and walk outside and kind of enjoy it, take a little couple of breathers of fresh air, and then come back in. But yeah, man, I'm excited for it, dude. And seriously, you know what's right around the corner? Time change.
Yuck.
March the 8th or something like that. I think 7th, something like that, right around in there, man. Going back, we're bumping
Losing
ahead.
that hour of
Yeah,
sleep.
we're losing an hour of sleep, so we're bumping ahead an hour if that makes sense. But man, I tell you what, longer days are coming, man, and so I'm
I don't know
thankful
if I
for
want
that
longer
too.
days.
Really?
I don't know. I mean, have you seen the news? I don't know if I want the days to be much longer.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. I think I just read too, like sometime point in time today, there was 38 different aircraft that have made their way over to the Middle East now, kind of in preparations maybe for the U.S. Iran deal that's gonna, kind of transpire. We're not sure if there is, if it's not, whatever. So 38 different aircraft. I think they said it's the most air traffic since '03. That's been over that way. So we don't know what's going to transpire with that. I do know, however, I bring you some exciting news tonight. Tyson and Floyd Mayweather
I have no idea where you're going with that.
are going to box.
No, that's not the exciting one.
What is it? What's the
Ronda
exciting
Rousey
one?
and Gina Carano.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them are
Yeah.
coming out of
That
retirement.
one's exciting.
Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson coming out of retirement, kind of. So I mean, hey man, what a time to be alive. If you're a sports fan, what a time to be alive. If you were alive in like the '80s, what a time to be alive. You get to see some of your favorite people
Right.
growing up. Now you get to watch them fight again. You know.
You got to watch Gina get kicked off the Mandalorian, and now you get to see her come back and fight. on
Yeah,
Disney.
yeah, and of course
Awesome.
Ronda done her deal in WWE for a while, and things like that, and now she's coming out of retirement to do. What makes me wonder and is people's motivation behind it. Like, what is your motivation?
As Mr. Krabs says,
What is
money.
money. So, but here's the deal: like, do you run out of it? Do you just want more of it? Do you what happens with that?
Yes.
Yeah, both.
Yeah.
Both
Yeah.
yes to both. But like think about that just for a second. Like I don't know what their financial status is, but I'm like, would I really want to get in a ring and get my face punched in for a little bit
No.
for more money?
Well,
Exactly.
I don't know. We've talked about this before too. Like,
What
I
would
mean,
you do?
yeah, I'm like,
how
if-
far
if
would you
somebody,
go?
If somebody offered me $50 million to get my face punched in, like, I think I'd take it.
Really?
know?
You
Yeah.
would get your
I mean,
bell,
the
get your
surgery
bell
wouldn't be that
rocked.
horrible.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I tell you what, poor old Jake Paul, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got like iron jaws right now, man. Like he got his stuff messed
But
up.
hey, his girlfriend just won a gold medal. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think I read somewhere where like he made like I don't know, it was like 80-90 million or is it something like that?
enough
man?
to get an iron jaw.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. I mean,
to
it's
deal with
okay.
it. It's okay.
But yeah,
And
I
his
mean,
brother just sold a Pokemon card
for like 16
Yeah,
million
that's
dollars,
crazy.
bro. That is insanity. But I also read an article where he had bought an NFT for like $600,000.
It's worth like 15.
Yeah.
Like that.
So you win some, you lose
Yeah.
some, I guess, type situation. But that I think that's man. like you think to yourself, like, what would you do? Like, and I know,
For a
like,
conduct bar.
yes, I know people are like, I thought this was a Christian podcast. You're talking about the love of money, the root of all evil is money, and I don't think, I don't. You're right. I don't think that the root of all evil is money. I think that the love of money is maybe the root of all evil,
The
but
love of anything other than Jesus.
right, or putting that love over Jesus
Mhm.
type situation. But I mean, money is a tool. Like money is a way to kind of make it in this world. Money is a way to accumulate things or whatever. And I mean, like I think it's a serious conversation to have sometimes, Nick, about like what like you think to yourself, like what would you do? Like and you see people get lost, man, get lost in the sauce. Like you see Ponzi schemes, you see illegal gambling. You see, gosh, I don't know, man, like money laundering. You see, like all these different things that happen and transpire. So some people would go to the extent of breaking the law type situation, man. But like, let's play a fun game really quick, And it used to be $1 million. Now this is insanity, but it used to be like $1 million would get you through the rest of life. Now I'm not saying that it won't. Okay, I mean if you were, we're fairly young cats, where you're a lot younger than me, but $1 million anymore with the way society is and prices and stuff like that. Like I think as you got older, you would still be like you'd start to kind of worry a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't have any other sources of income,
Right, exactly. So let's just say 10 mil, man, dropped in your lap. Bam, bam, like just 20. Now let's go 25 mil. All right, let's make this crazy. 25 mil drops tax free, bro. 25 mil, you've already paid taxes and everything. 25 mil is yours, okay? So that's it. Clear money, 25 mil, man. What do you think? Now, don't give me no BS. Yeah, don't give me no. I would build 32. I would give 32 orphanages. Like, don't give me that.
I go
mess,
Mr.
man.
Beast it over in the middle of the desert.
25 mil comes your way, man. Puts it in your hands, man. Like, let's talk real talk. Let's talk what would transpire in your life first. Like, let's give the listeners of People Suck, Love Them Anyways kind of an inside window as to who we are as people.
So that's not a good idea.
Well, I mean, like like if you're gonna take the time to
divorce me over buying another car.
Like I almost divorced you, but but like think about it, man. Like what would you do first if you woke up in the morning and you realized 25 mil was sitting in your hands?
What would you do first? I don't think I know we were making jokes about it. I really don't think people understand just how much money that is. Like,
no,
I mean that's a lot of money.
We said Sunday, and you can go look up the stats. It could be even worse than that, but I think it's like 50% of lottery winners are broke within the first 5 years because they don't know how. Like
and if
it's
you're
a
in
large
Kentucky, you actually get arrested twice for being a lottery
winner.
Yeah,
and that's a true story. You can actually look up that story as well. The lottery winner's been arrested twice. He won the largest lottery winnings in Kentucky. It's 165 million, I think, is what he won. And yeah, he's been arrested twice. Once in Florida, and now once in Kentucky. But it's like you think to yourself, man. People go, oh well, it would never change me. And it's like, I don't know, man, because you would have to be very secretive. I feel like for it to not change you, because let's be honest, people suck. That's why we do this podcast for. And if somebody finds out that you can be an asset to them, oh, now Nick, 25 mil. Okay, now I'm your best friend. Nick knows from experience that I have a hard time texting people back most of the time. Like he'll have a whole conversation with Julie a lot of times, and I'm in the text message with him, and I'm like, yeah, I've not answered for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like type situation. And he knows I have a hard time texting back sometimes, and so, but like if I just started,
we all have those people that we haven't heard from in 72 years,
right? That just all of a sudden they're on the phone shooting a message, and they're like, "Hey,
you get that DM
how are you?
Facebook.
How are you? Oh my gosh, so exciting!" Like
so and so refriended me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I feel like you'd have to be secretive to some extent, man. But what do you think? Like people, I get tickled at those memes that be like, "There will be signs." Like if I win, there will be signs. What do you think would be a sign in your life, man, that you would be like, man, what would you do first?
I mean, first, of course, paying off debts.
Yeah.
What
do you think people do that? Do you think people like when they win?
You would think so.
I would hope so.
Yeah, you would hope so. But I mean, that's where I was getting at, though. I was like, we have a house, 2 cars, credit cards, all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, even if I paid all of that off, I mean, you're still looking at 24 million. You know what I mean? Like
Bro,
24 and a half million.
you ain't a million. I was gonna say you ain't a million in debt, bro. I
No, that's what
know,
I'm saying. Like, I mean,
yeah,
even with a house, two
yeah.
cars,
You're like
negative equity,
24.7,
all that. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Like, I mean, you could pay off all your debts,
yeah.
and all the money that you would get from your job would be just positive after
Right,
that.
right.
Other than your bills and
So
things
would
like
you
that.
still work?
I probably would.
Would you?
I mean, I may not work the same job.
Yeah.
Like I may find something just to keep me busy. Because I mean, I think a lot of people who get that much money that fast, they just like spend. Like
Yeah,
I'm
oh, yeah,
bored. I quit my
yeah,
job. I ain't got
yeah.
nothing to do. I'm just gonna get online and spend.
I do think that living in Kentucky would regulate your spending to some
Yeah, you
extent.
wouldn't have a lot to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But I mean, I wouldn't be living in Kentucky anymore.
You don't think you would?
No,
You would pack up and move, bro.
I would have a
So,
castle in Switzerland or
so,
Austria or something like
so
that.
you would
I'd
just
be
run
like,
off and leave us here? Is that what you're
probably.
saying?
No, y'all come. I mean, y'all come. Too.
Y'all come
There's
too.
a select group of people that can come.
Oh man.
They can come. It's fine. I'll buy you a house. How about that? And a car. Both
And now and now you start doing that for everybody, bro,
yeah.
and it's down the drain
No,
quick.
it wouldn't be for everybody. I'll tell you that right now. But I mean, there are people I would take care of. That you're people, parents, close people that I know need it. There's people I take care of for sure.
Yeah.
And it's like I always joke with my wife. I said because like I'd be the type of person that would have not a small house, but my garage would probably be about 20 times bigger than my house. Like I would have, like you see them, like some people, like they got like in their garage, they got 3 stories of cars like stacked on top of each other, like lining the walls.
Yeah.
I was like, that'd be me.
You'd have like a Jay Leno garage, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I said that would be me, for sure.
I said one thing, bro. I said one thing. You're done like 9 deep. You know what I'm saying?
You're
a
lot.
Yeah. You're like 9 deep, bro. But the
so-
first thing would be, like you said, to pay off debts. To really and I would be the same way. Like I would think to myself, like I want to clear my name of everything that I owe, type situation. And then from there, then you can pay cash for everything. You can take care of everything,
all the
man.
debts Jesus didn't already pay.
Try that the next time you go to the bank and they're like, you owe, and it's like Jesus done paid it all with his blood, and they're gonna be like, yeah, so you still gonna owe, type situation.
I rebuke you, abound credit. I rebuke you.
Think about that, So that's me, man. I would hit debts first, and then after that, man, I'm like you. Now, a lot of people, like I see these houses being built, these monstrosities of houses, man. And it's funny because like way back in the day, man, is whenever I was a teenager, they used to have this show on MTV called Cribs. No, yeah, well, Cribs. It was Pimp My Ride, but it was Cribs, yeah. And they would go around and look at celebrities' homes and things like that, man. And I think it was 50 Cent that said one time, or was it 50? I think it might have been 50 that said that like he owned a home one time that was so big that he didn't go into a certain like area of the house for so long that there was like starting to be structural problems within the house, and he didn't even know because like the room never got used type situation. And I think to myself, I'm like, why would you build something so big that you wouldn't even use it, But that's also like for me, I mean, we live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, man, and it's like, so for me, if I was to just have a house, like me and my wife have talked about this, like if I was to have a house with a finished basement and then have a 1-story house, above that was, like 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 or 3 bath, I'm good, bro. I don't need all of that craziness. Like I don't need 50,000 square foot worth of house to live in. We're 4 people. You know what I'm saying?
Open living space.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, now don't get me wrong. I would love to have like my own little like nerd cave type situation.
Yeah.
Like where I can display a bunch of stuff. Like I love the idea of having like a home movie theater type situation. If you can't tell, Keenan and I are both bougie in different ways.
Different ways.
But I think it's just it's so easy to fantasize about. If I got that much money, these are the things that I would do with it. But I think it's kind of like what you said. You don't want to be super spiritual with it. Oh, I'd pay for this, that. But I mean, it's true. I mean, knowing Keenan and myself, we would do good with it. Like there's money. If you had that much money, I think we've gotten into this discussion before. Like you can only do so much good with that much money.
Yeah, you can. And I think too. Like if you've ever watched like the gosh man, there's a show that used to come on. Ty Pennington was in it, and they would redo houses for families, and they would
Home Improvement.
no,
Wait, no,
no, that's Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's like right a minute.
And they would, and at the end of it, they'd be like, "Move that bus," you know, and the bus
like
would roll
Extreme Home
out.
Makeover.
Extreme, yes, man, there we go. Dude, I would love like to have the ability.
Did you hear about all the people that like lost their houses after that?
No, I did not.
Yeah,
man.
like a bunch of people.
Don't cast shadows over there, bro.
A bunch of people who got their houses completely made over, couldn't afford the payments any longer.
Oh
and
no!
They have been evicted from it.
Wow, that's insanity. Yeah. See, I would like to take the other approach to that. Fix it and pay it off,
right,
type situation. Exactly. Type
or
situation,
maybe it was the property taxes because I guess where the value of it
went up
so high.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can see that, man. Like that. But I think, man, just seeing like, gosh, man, like I'm a softie, man. I really am. And there's like this dude on TikTok that will go around and like sometimes he'll act like he's poor, and he's like, hey, he's like, would you give me something to eat today? And would you do this, and like, he'll find people that are kind of struggling themselves, and then like they'll give him half a sandwich or like whatever, and he's like, why did you bless me for, and it's like da da da, and dude, like he'll give them, it's not, I mean, it's like $10,000 or something like that type of situation, bro. You will watch these people break down in the streets, and like I'm not even there, and I'm like, I am overwhelmed with emotion. I'm like driving home, and I'm like. Like or I'm like sitting somewhere. I'm like, oh my god, I'm like,
I'm horrible. I think it's all staged.
Nah, bro.
I look at it.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that's so crazy, and I want that feeling one time, like to know that I've changed somebody's life.
I've always said I would love to do, because I see this on the news a lot. I would love, if I had that much money, I would love to go. Now this isn't as much of a thing anymore as it used to be.
Yeah.
But like I would love to be able to go into like Walmart's and pay off everybody's layaways for Christmas.
Oh man, that would be such a blessing, dude. I feel like that. Going into a restaurant or something one night, like,
drinks are on me. No,
yeah, right. No. But going into a restaurant one night, man, and just being like, I don't know how you would do it, like, but like just saying like, here's $5,000, $10,000, whatever, like cover everybody's meal that's in here. Like use this until it runs out, type situation. And, because I mean, let's be honest, man. Like not every, like I know whenever people look in there like, oh, well, you went out to eat last week, and it's like, bro, I'm going to tell you something. I go 40 hours a week every week to earn a paycheck.
Don't judge my credit card.
Well, I mean, but here's the deal, Nick. It's like, you don't know that family situation, bro. That might be the first time that family's gotten to go out and celebrate and just be a family and go out and eat somewhere in months. You know what I'm saying? And literally, they might have had $100 freed up to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that might be the only thing that they get to do for another 3-4 months. You know what I'm saying? Type situation.
I'm going to derail this conversation real quick, but you know what really got on my nerves the other day?
Okay.
So, some people that listen to this, they may know what I'm talking about, but by one of our local Walmarts in the town where we do most of our business. There is a guy at the top of the hill at Walmart who panhandles every day.
Okay.
Every day he's up there with a sign, please help, anything, all this stuff.
I know the guy
there all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, we were going up that hill after getting groceries the other day, and I watched him with a half a tea or something from McDonald's, like half a drink from McDonald's, walk past a line of cars, open the cap, and just pour it out onto the ground.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm horrible, but my first thought is someone who really needs money isn't going to waste half a drink,
right?
That they can't afford, supposedly.
Yeah, to begin with.
And I'm like, to me, I'm like, if you were truly grateful for anything that anybody gave you, like if somebody gave me I don't like ginger ale, but if I was dying of thirst and didn't have a way to provide for myself, like if somebody gave me a ginger ale, you know what I'm not pouring out halfway down?
Yeah.
The ginger ale.
Root beer.
Right.
I feel the same way about root beer, yeah.
But I was like, I said that's something that just really got on my nerves.
Yeah, man.
The other day. And I mean, again, I'm not going to judge, like you just said, I'm not judge anybody's situation, whatever. But, I'm like, if you're out here, taking, to me, and because people get a bad name for this, but taking advantage of people's generosity, and you're just going to walk in front of everybody and pour the drink out.
Right.
Like, how badly do you really need to be out here
Well, let's
just getting money from
yeah,
giving.
and let's switch up money just for a second and just talk about like feelings and forgiveness and grace and like stuff like that, man. It's like, if you know that that person's going to forgive you every single time, but yet you never change in the
Mm-hmm.
process, it's like you're taking advantage of their grace. You're
Mm-hmm.
taking advantage of their forgiveness. You're
Mm-hmm.
taking advantage of that and not changing because you know they're always going to be there to forgive you or be
Yeah,
there to love on you.
I've seen that a lot, just and people close to me,
Oh
family
yeah.
members, friends, anybody that they know that they're, they can keep asking you for money every Christmas. They can keep asking you for this every
Uh-huh.
holiday. They can
Yeah.
keep asking you because they know that you're a Christian. They know you're generous. They know you have, you want to give. And it gets to a point. I think like I've heard a pastor tell my parents who have done this sometimes that there's a point where you have to say enough is enough.
Yeah.
Like where it's kind of like, hey, I can't be your crutch.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Like I can't be your crutch. I can't constantly, be the source of everything for you. You have to buckle up. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, get that mud off your pants, and
Mhm.
do something.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you can take advantage of somebody's generosity so much, man, that you can almost burn a bridge at it,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And I think that's really like why a lot of people sometimes are hesitant to help other people. Is simply because like that guy that you were talking about, it's like he's there every day. And I mean, dude, he makes a little bit of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like that he does. So it's like, what are you doing with that? How are you moving with that? It's like how are you
Do you believe?
oh,
Because I've heard pastors, I've heard people say this. Do you believe that it is up to us to give, and we shouldn't be worried about what they do with it?
See, I think no, like this is just my personal conviction. I will give, but here's the deal with that. Like, I'm not going to say that I have preconceived notions as to what you're supposed to do with it, but I will say that I'm going to give, and if I come back and you're in the same shape, like 6 months down the road, then I'm going to be very hesitant about
Mm-hmm.
giving again. You know what I'm saying? Because at that moment in time, I'm wondering what are you doing to better yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's something that maybe that's something I need to work on. I'm not for sure, but I mean, like, I feel like that we practice this a lot in church and like things like that. It's like, dude, if you don't have some kind of limitations, or if you don't have some kind
Mm-hmm.
of like kind of like rules of saying like, hey, look, I'll give, but like, goodness gracious, like, are you going to help yourself? Are you going to do anything in the process? Like, what are you going to do exactly?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't watch it, man, you will give so much of yourself that you will have nothing left to give the people who matter most to you, which is your family, which is the people around you, like stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like it's an investment thing. And not just money, but like I've been guilty of that, man. I've like, especially spiritually and especially like, church wise and like being a pastor and things like that, where like people will grab your attention and grab your focus and grab your ear for like an hour and a half. And then I go home and my wife's like, "Hey, what do you think about?" And I'm like, just whatever. I'm wore out, And
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's not fair, bro. Like that's not fair. And it's like I've because I didn't put up that boundary or that fence right there. I've allowed somebody to take from me what was truly meant for somebody
Mm-hmm.
else. And who knows if this person over here ever even really did anything with it or not.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think we see a lot of that right now on, especially we started the episode talking about, a lot of the craziness going on in the world, but you see that a lot right now with, Christians on Facebook or just normal people on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, that are giving so much of their time, effort, and energy to this one specific topic or this one specific issue or this one specific thing. Like, they are, just using every ounce of their effort and energy and words and time in the day to make videos and posts,
Right,
degrading
right.
this or complaining about that or talking down this or supporting this or all these different things. And it's really about, I think it's up to each and every one of us to take a second to step back, to assess our priorities, to assess
Yep.
our heart. Why am I giving so much of myself to this or so much of myself to this person or this situation or this party or this, whatever else, when they, it comes down. And yes, we're supposed to give without expectation of any kind of return, but you're giving so much of yourself to this, it's wearing you out. You have nothing
Hmm.
left to give to people that matter, that people that need it, because as we talk about all the time, you're sowing seed in rocky soil, and
Yep.
you're just wasting your time, wasting
Yep.
your energy, wasting what you
Wasting your
have.
seed. Yeah.
You're wasting all this. One of my favorite things to say is if you could be beating a dead horse, and all you're going to do is wear yourself out in the process.
Right.
It's not going to come back to life.
Is that a saying?
Yeah. Well, beating a dead horse is.
Oh, okay.
I've
yeah.
always said like
I was like,
yeah, beating a dead horse is a saying. I've always said like, you can spend all your time, doing CPR on something that's not going to come back to life.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can. And like we said, this is going to be abbreviated and all of that good jazz. So like, for me to sum it up tonight, I know we started talking about money and like what you would do and like things like that, but I think it kind of gravitated into an even better place of where it's like, when you do have something of a surplus, what are you going to do? You have to spend it wisely. Like no matter how much of it you have to spend it wisely, and you have to see a return on your investment. Because if not, if you just go out and you just spend frivolously, and when you do that, it's like you're not going to see the return for it. I think about the rich young ruler, that would literally, or the prodigal son, not the rich young ruler. I think about the prodigal son who like went and blew through his savings and had nothing, and it's like he had everything, but he had nothing. And it was literally because he wasn't ready, and then he had to come back home and he had to get right with the father, and then he got restored. And in personal life, physical life, financial life, emotional life, spiritual life, whatever, in those areas of your life, you have to be able to manage what you spend or what you give, or else you'll end up broke in the process. Exactly. What do you got?
Exactly. I mean, I think that's only what it comes down to is, you could have 25 million in the bank, you could have, all the amount, everybody has 24 hours in the day. It's up to you how you spend that, and I think you have to have the right heart position. You have to have the right mindset to spend that wisely, spend your time wisely, spend your money wisely, and you want to be able to use what God has given you and have the biggest impact. You want to be intentional about where you're spending that time, effort, and energy. Are you just blowing smoke through a hot furnace? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You can't. Is what you're doing, is what you're putting out there. Does it have a reason? Does it have a purpose? Does it have God's purpose behind it?
Right.
Is it something that you're doing just for likes and views and shares and comments and all those sorts of things? Or is it something that truly is going to have an impact on someone? We spend a lot of time and effort and energy trying to convince people of our opinion and our viewpoint and our way of thinking. Watch our halftime show, not their halftime show. We get so worked up, and we have so much energy pouring into this outlet that really is not going to have an impact, and it's not going to have an issue. It's nothing. Yeah. You're spending all your time, effort, and energy on nothing, on doing nothing. And when we should be spending our time, effort, and energy doing things like going to Walmart, paying off layoffs, or layaways, going to or paying for layoff people, like if they lost their job, right. We need to be managing our resources better. We need to make sure that we are putting our time, effort, energy, money, talent, skills, abilities, all of that we are, putting it before God, asking God what he wants us to do with it, and then using that wisely in a way that helps other people and blesses other people. Because, like with the many different parables in the Bible, if we're not good stewards of what we've been given, God will take it. But if we are good stewards, God will give us more, which will allow us to be more of a blessing.
Absolutely.
To even more people.
Absolutely. So use what you have wisely. That's what we're going to say with that. We appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to People Suck, Love Them Anyways. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the downloads. As we always say, tell somebody about the podcast, hit the download button. And until we see you again, we love you so much. Be blessed.